Happy Wednesday, guys.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yeah, Joe here.
Kevin.
Uh, I think the last episode of The Americans might have been the best episode of season 3.
Sure.
Fantastic acting from the actors who plays Paige. Also, really big surprise.
Yeah, and the fact that they kind of just dropped it in out of nowhere,
Yeah.
I was like, that's
Yeah.
just good writing. It caught us completely off guard, which obviously that was the point.
We knew that Paige is always smart and very precocious, I guess.
Yeah.
Because back to season 1, how they ended that first season with, is she going to find out?
Yeah.
Took a season off. I'm glad that she found out. I'm glad that she finally knows now. I don't know if that means that she's going to be recruited. I'm willing to bet that it means that she's not.
I would think not. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to want that for her, because I think the Gabriel situation, it's really getting tense.
Yeah, and she found out a lot faster than they wanted her to.
She did.
And so she's obviously struggling to process it. Looked like she was willing to tell Stan. Looked like the parents knew that and were standing here staring with the carving knife while looking at Paige like, say something, and Stan dies right here. Like now that Paige is kind of understanding in that moment what the stakes are.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to rat out her parents, but the idea of her joining them in this quest seems very far removed from reality.
Not that cool with it.
No, yeah, very very much so. Which I think as Gabriel continues to push it.
Yeah.
And the parents are realizing, whoa, this is not Paige. This is clearly not something Paige is cool with. That sets up the bigger chances of conflict, I think, between Philip and Elizabeth and Gabriel and the cause on the other side.
Absolutely. And I don't know. I don't know what it's going to look like. I really don't. But I do think that that's going to be the big bad, if you want to call it the big bad of this season, is going to be the Gabriel situation.
It is. And I think they've set that. First off, Frank Langella is an amazing actor, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's playing such an shucks, I care about you grandfatherly type figure that he's actually incredibly dangerous.
He plays villains so well. I mean, the guy played Nixon, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So he's a very, very, very good actor. And I don't know what it's going to look like. Obviously, he's not a physical threat.
No, but neither was Granny. But that doesn't mean that she couldn't do horrible things.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more of her. I mean,
she might be safe for next season after Gabriel's kind of done.
Yes, because was it beginning of this season or was it the end of last season we saw her, that brief moment?
Last season where she kind of
the finale, right?
Yeah, that weird episode finale where like there was just so much like, here's exposition dump.
Yeah.
She was part of that.
She was
the dying kid was half that exposition dump. Granny was the other half.
Yeah.
And the fact that we haven't seen her again really does tell me after that exposition dump, the show really is doing a course correct this season.
It is.
And they've crushed it. This season's been so good.
It gets me excited. The show's strange in the sense that it gets me excited for the next season.
Right.
We're still in the current.
Because they do so much build for down the road. They play the long game on everything. And like we've said many times, the focus has been so good this season that this is easily as good as season 1, if not better.
I think it's better
because they've kept such a tight line of storylines going here.
No, for sure. The tightest. It's
for
incredible.
Sure.
And they're juggling multiple so well.
Very well.
They fumbled it in season 2, but they're juggling this so well. The Stan thing, the Nina situation.
Right.
The Stan and Nina thing, both Oleg and Stan have the same end game to get Nina out, but she has a completely different mindset right now.
Right.
It's captivating. It really is. And I want to see more of her in the, forget his name, the scientist that's in Russia.
Do you think there's a possibility that, like, she breaks through and helps this guy? And Stan and Oleg are like, we'll swap this. We've caught a traitor here. We'll swap her for Nina. And they're like, no, we're good.
And Stan doesn't know that she's a traitor yet. He doesn't know that she's a spy.
He doesn't know yet, but he's going to, right? It's just in the way the logistics end up working out. They set her up. Oleg's plan worked. It got her rattled to where she's reporting, right? And it's going to, either through Oleg's office or through Stan's office, they're going to find out. It's just a matter of time, I think, on
the
her.
Cherry on top, we have the Martha situation.
Martha's gun is going to be a thing. Yeah, and Stan is on to Martha now.
Yeah,
which is really fascinating.
So I want to see how that blows up.
Right?
It could be. Well, I don't think he's going to find Clark, but I think
there's no way he finds Clark.
I think he's going to keep an eye on her, though. It could get to that point to where he's like, oh, there's a man meeting with Martha. Maybe he sees his profile. I don't know what, but it's a way of bringing Stan into their world
It is, and I think it's a way of getting Martha out of the story too.
Yes.
Because I think Martha's going down.
I think we've all.
Because we've gotten to the point now where Martha had a moment where she probably could have saved herself and decided to commit to her husband instead and just roll with it.
Man.
Right? She love full on ride or die. Right?
She is a ride. Yeah, I want to make a T-shirt that says "Ride or Die" with just her
picture of Martha on it.
Awesome, guys. Somebody make that shirt.
Right? And she's gonna suffer for it for sure.
100%. There's no happy endings.
No, but this is a show that I think will sans happy endings. Yeah. But we've had a lot of viewers say this is a show that nails the ending at the end of the last season. And I'm very excited for that.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. So we do want to go ahead and welcome Stephen, Zach Conway, and Anthony G to our Patreon group. Thanks so much, guys, and welcome.
Yes, we're very glad you guys are here. If you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you'd mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On all the shows we're watching, including The Americans, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're at on YouTube. So if you see these edits on YouTube and want to keep going, that's the place to do it. You will have to sync and watch along on your own Hulu or Max or wherever you can find this these days. You're only going to see and hear us for copyright purposes. We're also watching 30 Rock currently as a Patreon exclusive. Well into season 2 on that one.
I think it's going to be watching along on FX.
Right, catching the cable.
В предыдущих сериях The Americans.
Interesting choice to use Russian there for the previously on The Americans.
They changed over. It's not a woman.
We could come back tomorrow morning.
There's no time.
That might be my favorite of their outfits. They were so good there.
We work for our country.
The Soviet Union.
Getting information.
Do you think Paige is going to have more questions as it goes on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume at some point she's going to ask if he ever killed anybody.
She's right there. They just usually.
Well, if they were murderers, that's why they're hiding. But now that she knows that, I think she asked them. I think they tell her.
Yeah. Or can they tell her? Yeah.
I don't think they're going to lie to her anymore.
You guys don't have to whisper when I come in the room. Unless you have some other secret you want to keep from me.
Yeah, I've got a son.
Yeah, right.
You understand?
Dude, what do you want to know? Our real names? Let's do this.
When you woke me and Henry up in the middle of the night for a spontaneous vacation and took us to that cabin in the woods, you were doing something then, right?
Yeah, we were being chased.
Yeah.
Why don't you have accents?
Because we were trained to listen.
Paige, honey.
Please don't call me that.
Paige?
Honey.
Or honey, yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. This bachelor.
What are your real names?
There it is. Yeah, I'd want to know that too.
Please keep your voice
He's
down.
an FBI agent. He can arrest
We
you.
really can't do
Henry's
this
gonna
now.
come down at any minute.
Is
It's
Henry
not the
really
time
my
we're gonna
brother?
talk about
Am I
this.
really your daughter?
Oh my God.
What's going on?
Breakfast, come sit down.
Mom and Dad are spies.
Yeah.
You all set for your biology test?
What biology test?
I'm just kidding. I was born ready.
Oh, Paige, don't you F into it.
Yeah, get it together. I mean, she's obviously not going to do anything to blow
Don't
it.
ruin Henry's childhood.
What's with you?
Nothing. Eat your breakfast.
I'm gonna have some Eggos now. Dang. I gotta eat today. I don't know if I'm weird for this. My favorite way to make Eggos in the oven: butter, powdered sugar, pop them out.
No.
It's delicious.
I'm a toaster guy.
Toaster guy. Well, yeah. If you want to save some time, if you want to get bougie. But yeah, okay. Henry's not gonna find out for sure.
Not this season.
I don't think so. Well, wouldn't expect Paige this season, so maybe I'm not writing it off.
He's way down the road.
And I think Paige realizes that. I think she's like, all right, Henry, chill out, eat some Eggos, calm down. But yeah, these questions are going to keep coming.
I might have said his name in there, yeah?
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to write down anything that might have been said in my office.
Oh, that could have been leaked, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why we've got the rules. They built us a vault for it.
I don't think he's at fault, but still,
No, he's not.
Yeah.
They were a little lax in how they talked is all.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. So we have to talk about Paige.
Being ambushed in my own home.
Yeah.
And she wanted to know the truth. So we told her.
How much did you tell her?
Everything.
Are you two all right?
See, I think that's what I think. Yeah, of course.
You did the right thing.
Let's hope so.
She's your daughter. She won't.
Yeah, we know.
I just think he's a master manipulator.
I do too. That's his job. Yeah.
Elizabeth, I have another envelope for you.
Did your mom finally die? I'm assuming that's what we're getting to here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They told me there may not be many more.
Yeah, so it's like final stages.
Yeah.
Look, he's working her there. Even.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
I think that's his job, is to be the there, I'm on your side, hold your hand.
Of course. Tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Well,
he's working them like assets, yeah.
I know that you have a lot of faith in her.
I'm going to run surveillance before I go.
Take Hans.
Yeah, Martha and Paige is kind of unraveling on both those ends.
Yeah.
They've been sending me women. Nice food appears in my room.
Trying to sweeten the deal a little bit.
He doesn't know if I'm alive or dead. That's the one thing I can't take.
Let's assume once the Cold War's over, they can fix a lot of this.
Sure.
We want a piece of whatever it is you got going on with your friend, the consultant. Sure, he would love to know what's going on at Northrop, too.
Oh.
I don't know what kind of clearance you have. At least you could go to jail for giving up info. Bigger risk, more money.
That's what she wanted to hear, yeah.
We're not going to make the movie, so how about some coffee?
Sure.
I'll take one too, baby.
Okay.
Leave these two alone so that she can threaten him.
Yeah.
I'd like to meet your friend.
No.
What's his name? Jack?
I would say no.
You're the real head of this operation, aren't you?
She didn't say anything.
No.
Which is probably right.
Went over reams of data with me.
Is it rough or?
Kidding? It's the first person I've spoken to who really gets computers.
Are you a very good liar?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
The station guys reported as one more dead Russian, so Langley has no idea.
That's awful.
Yeah. He's going to try to turn one of the Afghanistan guys.
See if he has any luck.
Yeah. They're good at it.
They are good.
More success than I would have thought.
They've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Well, she's in the car because she wants some privacy.
Yeah. Right. Get out.
Going somewhere?
Henry was doing his stupid Eddie Murphy routines.
Yeah.
I needed some quiet.
Yeah. That kid's nuts.
He's going to love Bear Grylls Cop.
Right?
We will only talk about this when we know no one else can hear. Okay?
Yeah, you about it really blew it with Henry there.
Yeah, he did.
When I was trying to go to sleep, she would go scream at them. They'd scream back. She would always win.
How can I believe anything you say?
You really can't. I mean, what do you say? Like, we won't lie anymore? Sorry, we did it for the first 20 years or
For sure.
15 years of your life.
Yeah. And the fact they're telling her that is
Right.
You know, it's so hard to believe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
А что по поводу этого?
Это я уже изучил. Приступайте к работе. Как можно быстрее.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's his job to know if I'm lying.
His job is to make you feel as if he knows.
Well, that's true.
I still don't think
Okay, when he asks you, just look at the tip of his nose.
That's interesting. I wonder if that's true.
Yeah. I'm going to try that out.
Yeah, me too.
Be David Caruso and Jade.
Tip of my nose.
I have no idea who put that thing in Agent Gad's pen.
That was awfully good, Martha.
He's going to like, who are you? You know how to evade a interrogation really well.
She has a vague idea of what he is,
Right.
right? She has no idea he's a Russian spy.
Well, not at all.
I want you to come back.
I would have come back anyway.
I'm the luckiest hotel manager
Yeah,
in
I know, right?
America. Yeah.
He's not suspicious of anything, yeah.
See, that's always me on these, right?
Yeah.
I would just be like, why is this beautiful woman all of a sudden coming on to me this
Yeah.
strong?
Yeah, it's like a random Tuesday.
Yeah. Automakers try to do that to Ralph Nader. To
Yeah.
get him off their back, they sent women.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm calling crap, you're beautiful,
Yeah.
I'm me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they ended up busting him.
Well, didn't work for Giuliani.
No, Giuliani thought he was a very handsome man.
He did. Let's look at what that happened, bro.
I know, right?
It was Sacha Baron Cohen of all people. Like, what? The set designers definitely deserve a shout out because
For sure.
the juxtaposition between Russia and America,
Right.
like, this does not look fun.
Yeah. It's so cold and desolate.
Cold
Yeah.
and boring. It's just
Everything's so
muted.
gray. Yeah.
Elizabeth has the hotel covered.
She's thinking about the Paige thing. She's like, I don't want Paige to have to do that.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
she should be thinking that.
Yeah.
I want to arrange a trip for Elizabeth to see her mother one last time.
I wish it were possible, but we both know that it isn't.
It's risky.
But I don't want to keep hearing no from you. One of these times I'm going to need a yes.
Yeah, this is going to come to a head here.
They're going to force his hand.
You've had greater access to Agent Gadd's office than anyone else.
Well, yes, I'm his secretary.
So he doesn't know anything. He's just fishing still.
No long-term relationships. It's a hard enough job as it is, but with no one to go home to.
Watch his nose. Yeah, she is. She's looking at the end of the nose.
Chris Amador.
Yes.
I think I was more involved with him than he was with me.
But he died.
Right, yeah.
There wasn't anything about Agent Amador's death you knew that you didn't share with the Bureau at the time?
Of course not.
It's touched them.
Yeah. The writing's supposed to be intimidating, for sure.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, let's do it with you.
Well, thank you, or good luck.
So this was supposed to be our... I mean, maybe it was. Maybe we didn't see all of it, but...
Yeah, there's no way. I feel like you would save the big questions for the end.
Sure.
That way they're all loosened up, their guards down.
People who I thought were my friends, but they traded me like a slave to these thugs.
And he's definitely opening up to her.
Yeah.
All my son knows is that one day I didn't come home. Maybe I died.
That would eat me alive, too.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Day in and day out, every day.
You know my son's name? I never told it to you. I never even said his name since I've been here.
Did she just screw up, or was this on purpose?
Your story is beautiful. And hard. You should keep writing him.
Oh, no, she's made she read it.
I haven't told anyone. I won't.
And she'll definitely tell somebody, I feel
Oh,
like.
yeah. She's looking out for herself.
Working him.
Mm-hmm. That's a smart way to do it, to get him on her side.
Do you think she meant to tell him?
Yeah,
that was like, her dipping her toe in the water.
Yeah, it's like, by the way, I have been sent here to watch you. You know that I have, but I'm not going to do it.
Because we're in love now.
Hotel's booked and we can't find his reservation.
Just a sec.
It was convenient.
Right? 80% of his job is just being yelled at. Unless it's Philip out there.
But it would make sense if it was, yeah.
I can't tell if it's him or not. It looks like him.
Either. I mean, it should be him. Otherwise, this is just a fantastic coincidence.
Yeah, I think that's Philip.
I pushed F3. The machine was messed up. It gave me a payday.
That's funny.
Во всяком случае, мы знаем, что автомат поломан. Не любит USLF.
USFL.
Well, that was Trump's football league that failed.
Was it?
Yeah.
He
tried to start his own XFL kind of thing and it bombed.
Guess what? XFL didn't work out.
No. Do you think maybe they don't want to be doing all the hooking up and stuff they have to do now that Paige knows? Because now it feels like it
feels wrong.
It's more out in the open, so it feels more wrong.
I think so. Somebody knows about this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing all these horrible things, and now my daughter knows about them, even if she doesn't know the specifics.
Sure. They just scare me. Like, what happened?
You're right.
What's happening?
Give me a warning before you come in the room. Turn a light on or something.
Especially when you're trained like that. Just,
yeah, right.
Oh, I'm so sorry, too.
When they fight, they catch each other lying. Like, wait, were you just looking at the end of my nose right now?
Yeah, you look at the end of my nose.
You're lying to me.
I taught you that technique.
I can't imagine how these two ended up together after the run of the show was over.
Apparently, it happened in season 2.
Really?
Yeah. So he went on the Smartless podcast and was talking about how he met his wife, and he was like, they were having an intimate scene, and the director was like, "You've done this before. You guys have definitely done this outside of the show," and I guess the jig was up after that.
That's fun.
Yeah. And he tells a really charming story about how he met her at a party before they got the show. And he was trying to hit on her then.
Oh, that's funny.
He botched it.
Crash and burn, huh, Mav?
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah.
Successful TV show, and years later, you know.
I think I found a way for you to see your mother.
I worked it out.
I've been through this.
Just hear me out.
Yeah, we smuggle you on a boat.
Right.
Your grandmother in Russia. She's very sick. And I want your mom to go and see her.
My big question would be, how does this end? Are you guys out? Do you go back? Do you stay here? Am I supposed to go with you? Like, what happens when the job is done, no matter what that looks like?
I'm assuming that like they're not going to be cool with Russia,
Right?
But then again, the Soviet Union is expanded, so who knows? They could easily live in Russia,
Yeah.
And
why is Paige so mad?
She'll be much older, so she can stay in America if she really wanted to, And then it could be Philip and Elizabeth back in Moscow.
Yeah.
That was quick. Wow, that was a very quick episode.
But yeah, I don't know what set Paige off there. Maybe the fact that she can't go back and see her mom, and that might mean that if they go back, she can't see her mom.
Yeah, I kind of think that's what
that's what that was.
I think Paige wanted to meet her grandmother. I think she's now curious about her roots.
Maybe, but I don't think it was. I don't think she cares much about her grandmother. I think because she asked, "Can you go?" I don't think she said, "Can I come with you?" I think it's more like, if you can't go see your mom because you're here doing this, and you're not even allowed to go back. What happens if you go back? Sure. Am I not going to be able to ever come see you?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because that definitely
that's a good read. Because for a second there, when she was asking questions, I was wondering if she was gonna want to go.
I don't think she cared that much about it. In fact, I think she's still too freaked out about the scope of it to worry about things like, what about my real family I should go meet? Because I mean, she's grown up without a grandmother all this time.
Yeah, so probably whatever.
Well, yeah, I would think.
But yeah, it's definitely the case. Like she's worried about her mom now.
Yeah, because remember when she was yelling at him before Henry came down, it was like, Mr. Beeman could come and he could arrest you
at any point in time.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that makes her. I think it will make her more gung ho into not joining, but to like keeping the secret a secret.
Yeah, I think so. I think protecting the family for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be tough for anybody to live with. Like it'd be tough all this time for Philip and Elizabeth to realize that at any point agents could kick your door down and grab you, right? Without you even knowing that they found something out.
Talk about that kind of pressure,
right? And now Paige has to live with that out of the blue without any kind of training or expectation of it.
While just trying to go to school.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a kid and go to school now, and now the FBI can show up at any second and arrest both my parents, and they could go away forever.
That's why I think she keeps a lid on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how, because obviously we're not even halfway through the show, I guess. But like, keeping that a secret. How does she do that for the entire run of the show? Right? Do we have an episode or even a season where it's like that's not really the focus? Where she's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are off doing your spy thing. I'm not going to ask questions," because eventually the questions will stop. I think, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Otherwise, this becomes a really repetitive show in terms of structure and style. No, but yeah, there's going to be points I think we're going to see where they start disappearing to do the. They always had an excuse, and now she's going to know when they go. It's going to be like, okay, yeah. It's like we have to run back to the office. We forgot something. It's like yeah, okay, yeah. So I think that's definitely going to be a thing for a while, but it's like anything else. She's going to get used to it,
Yeah, and I do think, I honestly think that right now the big question was the beginning of the season was, is she going to find out? Is she going to join? Now it's definitely, when is the hat going to drop? When are they going to turn against Gabriel?
I think that's coming hard, especially Philip. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's not Elizabeth, though. When it comes to the preservation of Paige, because I think that's going to be the issue with Gabriel, is that they're going to move forward with recruiting Paige.
I think it's going to be Elizabeth.
And that's what I'm saying. I think Elizabeth is the one that was okay with it before, but I think that's turning now. Now that Paige knows, now that Elizabeth is like, this is the horrible crap I have to do in this glorious job for this glorious cause that has nothing to do with Paige.
Nothing.
And I think you're right. I would not be surprised if Elizabeth's the one that has to step in the way there.
When they write the show too, it's like Philip was the one that kind of initiated telling Paige as well, which he was the one who was against it.
Mm-hmm.
So to flip that, I think that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't. Like we said, we have maybe 2 episodes left.
Yeah, I think there's probably 2. I think there's. Wait, this was 10 or 11.
This was 12. No, this was 11. This was 11. I'm sorry.
So probably 2 left.
Probably 2 left, and maybe that this is how this season ends. Is that like it looks like they're going to defect, and then obviously season 4, maybe there's just high tensions between them and the agency.
Sure.
Because I don't know what it looks like if they just take Gabriel out. What does that do?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, is that
somebody else? I think
doesn't necessarily mean they're out.
No, but I think Gabriel's out somehow here, and I think Granny's back in. I really do think Granny's coming back.
I really hope so because I miss her character.
Yeah, it's a great character.
Season 1 when they would have the meetings with her.
Sure.
Sometimes got repetitive, but at the same time I liked it because it was a lot of exposition that we needed.
One, it's a great actress.
Fantastic.
Not that Frank Langella's not great. I just don't see him sticking around for 4 seasons of a television show.
Yeah, he's too in demand.
Yeah, he is for the older gentleman actor with an Oscar pedigree.
Yeah,
he's in demand.
Yeah,
he does a lot of film work while this show's going on,
and it speaks to the quality of the show. They can land Frank Langella.
Yeah, for sure.
This show, a lot of you guys watch the show. I just feel like more people should see this because maybe season 2 is when people jumped off.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that like if you weren't sure about this show, hop back in because it is getting so freaking good.
Yeah, no, season 3 has been a complete masterpiece in storytelling, in spy storytelling, and family dynamics. And I think you're right. I think that there is a moment in the show before the show's over that Philip and Elizabeth are. I mean, it's called The Americans, right? By the time you get to the end, that may just be how it ends up. And I think the reason it would be was because of the risk that their own Soviet government is to Paige and Henry.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think for the kids is when that switch really happens.
Yeah.
Philip was there in episode 1, right, ready to take that bullet to save his kids, right in season 1, and and Elizabeth was one really resistant to it. But I think that there's still a path going forward where that happens.
Yeah,
and I think it's because the kids are at risk of joining this awful life.
Because we haven't returned to that idea since season 1. So for them to return to it in the final season, I think would be really smart.
Absolutely,
I think it'd be great.
Yeah, kind of like foreshadow the end of the season, like a lot of good shows do.
For sure. I don't know if was it Weissmans or Weisbergs that created the show?
I'm not sure.
The creators of the show, I wonder if they had a game plan as to how the show would end.
I would think so. I don't think you start a show like this and you're like, we're doing historical fiction.
Let's figure it out
with these families. Yeah, I don't think it would. I mean, obviously, there's a lot in the middle that they had to play with and write and change.
Sure.
And,
like all TV shows.
Exactly, but I think the resolution on something like this was like, we're doing an episodic story that people are going to tune into week after week to see what's next. They had to have the resolution in mind.
I don't know how you pitch a TV show, but I wonder if you have to pitch the ending too, if that's a real selling point.
Oh, I would think, like, I've obviously never been in one of these meetings.
Yeah, sure.
I would freaking love to be at some point for in any of the roles. But I think that you have to sit there, and I'm sure the question when you come up with like it's a serial show about this, I think it's like, okay, how many seasons, they ask, right? How many seasons do you see needing to tell this story? How many episodes?
Yeah.
And how do you see it resolving itself?
I feel like the old school model of that is we'll pitch it. This is the main idea for the story. We can do this for years.
Yeah, we can just right, like the medical drama, like this or the police drama,
SVU.
Right, exactly. This can go on for decades if it's making money.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it.
That's at the end of the day, that's what the execs care about. And I think this show is fantastic because you do get 6 seasons out of it, but at the same time, it's a compelling story, and it's not running any risks of it overstaying its welcome because the season's so fresh. But like, I cannot wait to see how this concludes itself.
Absolutely, I think they're going to nail it because, like I said, I feel like they after a really successful first season, they meandered a little bit in the second season,
which was still a good season.
It was still a good season. It just wasn't the strongest one of the show. But I feel like the writing has been so tight in this third season that I feel like, okay, lesson learned, right? I like The Office for the first until Michael Scott leaves, right?
Yeah.
But it took them 2 years to figure out what they were doing.
No, of course.
It took Parks and Rec 2 years to figure out what they were doing.
You got to find your stride.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like they've really done that here.
Me too.
All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.